Hey, what is going on? It has been a while since we have gotten together. Got an art interview today, everybody. Marina Rehrmann. There she is. Yay! Let me bring on Marina. Give me just a second. A request waiting for Marina. What's going on, Jen? We have another one of the Instagram. There she is.
Hi, Jay.
Hey, what is going on? I don't know if you see, but Jen is on and Between the Pines, and I interviewed her not too long ago. So Jen is a rock star.
Hi, Jen. Nice to see you here. I'm glad you made it.
Wow, I am so pumped about this. This is going to be some good stuff. Guys, let me do a quick interview, and then I will let Marina introduce herself. So, again, my name is Jay McKey, and I am an artist out of Denton, Texas. So, I really am an artist. That's my real work back there, I promise. I didn't buy it at a garage sale. Sometimes it looks that way, but that's all right. And I love to. I basically was. I got my degree in graphic design and advertising and marketing. So I've kind of been a graphic artist for about 20 plus years, and a professional photographer and videographer. And I did a lot of graphics and a lot of computer-based work. And about 9 to 10 months ago, my wife encouraged me to paint, and it really started working. And I'm thankful for that. It only really started working because of people like Marina and people like Jen and everybody and Jose and all the people that I connect with that give me good advice and, hey, try this and do that, and I really do listen. And I'm gonna close that blind because weird light. Hold on, I gotta close the blind. Give me just a second here. There we go. All right, we'll see if that gets any better. I don't know, but the artwork that I do have. I think I pulled my charger loose. So, oh, nothing like technical difficulties. All right. So, um, I have been doing well, but I've been doing well not because of just me, but because of the kinship that I think I've made, that I've gotten with all the artists here. And Marina is no exception to that. So we have had some good conversations before where that was, it just turned, I just flipped on Instagram, and then she like schooled me on a bunch of really cool stuff, and she will tell you that I really do what people say because, she sees me on Twitter now. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm doing that
You
right.
do.
So let me give you a little time, Marina. Let you introduce yourself. Go right ahead. Tell us where you're from and all those goodies.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me for this interview. This is awesome. I've never done interviews before,
Yeah, and
and
the
this
people
is
who
a
are
trip.
joining right now all said the same thing. Loose Loves Life just joined. I did her interview. Jen's like, I've never done that before. I'm like, that's the people I really want to talk to because, I mean,
Yes.
it's like you guys are so special, and I think sometimes it's hard to. Sometimes I think it's hard for artists who are really good to find a venue and an outlet. So I'm so happy you're here. Sorry, I got excited about that.
No, absolutely fine. Thank you, Jay. Well, first of all, my name is Marina Rehrmann. It is a German last name, Jay, so I understand if it's hard to pronounce.
Raymond, I got it.
Yeah. Originally, I was born in Armenia,
Oh,
but
wow.
when I was about 9 years old, we moved to Germany. So practically, I grew up over there. And then at some point when I was, I believe, 19, I moved over to LA.
Gotcha. Oh, so you're in California.
I'm in California.
Gotcha.
I'm in Glendale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
My wife was born in oh God, Los Angeles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good. So you're
Yeah.
familiar.
Married a California girl.
Very. Um, so basically, I've been married for the past 20 some years. I have two daughters.
Nice.
My oldest one is 21. My youngest one is 15. And I've been in the arts ever since I remember how to hold a pencil in my hand.
Wow. Wow. You're
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. Yeah. So, I know that I have been like all the people, like I think everybody who's on right now has been interviewed by me. Van just jumped on. Van Anderson, I did an interview with him as well. These guys are all really, really good artists. So you're in good, definitely in good company. Guys, if you haven't checked out Marina's work, you have to do this. She blew me away with some stuff that we're going to get into a little bit later. On some things. But so that kind of goes into my first question. And my first question is kind of, when did you first consider yourself an artist? I mean, you say you've always had some, drawing forever, but what does forever mean? Like, how far back? What does that mean? Like, when did you really think, okay, maybe you didn't even think you were an artist, but you're like, wow, this stuff is fun. Like, do you remember when that was?
I think the first encouragement that came from my mother was
Nice.
when I was about 3.5. And I remember that my family used to sit down at the table and play cards. And so for them to play cards, they had to draw straight lines, write their names, and then do the
Yep.
points. And I remember I was the person who would draw the lines. And the one thing that, stuck with me for until now is that she said, oh my God, she's an artist. She doesn't need a ruler to make these straight lines. Look at that.
Wow, what a cool
So
story.
that was, the first impression, the first, way of kind of understanding what they're talking about.
Right.
And from that point on, I just continued drawing, doing all kinds of, artistic stuff. And so I considered myself not per se an artist, but interested in the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So that teaches all of us with kids about the importance of that first, like what you say really does matter, because obviously
Absolutely.
that struck a chord with you and you're like, yeah, I'm good. And you're like 3 years old and
Absolutely.
you're like, yeah, I do the straight lines. And that made a big deal. I mean, I remember the first time when I was about that age too, and I was drawing, just little superhero figures, and my parents were floored. They were just like, this kid at like, 4 and 5 is like drawing stuff that's just crazy nuts. And I have a child that's just like that too, as a matter of fact. And when they started drawing really early, I mean, I just remember that same feeling of like, wow, like that's a big deal. So that's pretty cool that you started there. Well, it's interesting that you didn't go down like the the poker line, or
No,
like
no, I
opening
could
a
never
casino,
understand the poker games. Oh gosh, no. I think also the other thing that helped me grow my artistic ability is where I grew up, we didn't have store-bought toys or the black and white pictures where you can color it in, and so a lot of the things I had to create myself.
Wow. So you made like your own
A lot of
coloring
dolls, a lot of pictures, a lot of, I don't know, Christmas stuff. It was one big thing that I just continuously had to do and learn.
Yeah.
And that's where I am today.
So this isn't a question on our list, and everybody who's on here is saying beautiful artwork. I know you can see that. So
thank you, guys.
These
Thank
guys
you.
are real. These are some really, I don't know if you've locked into any of these folks, but between Luce and Van and Jen, and looks like we got Hosen here. Hosen 8.3. Not somebody that I know, but I'm happy to have. I want more people to be on here that I don't know, to be honest with you. But I do know 4 or 5 folks here, and I mean, it's one of those things where where you don't know what you're just doing things for fun. So is that kind of how it started? Is it just really just kind of started as fun, and then where did it blossom from there? Once you were like, hey, this is pretty fun, then what was the what was that? I'm kind of skipping around. What is like, how did your, and I'm going to skip down to I'm going to skip down to question number 4, and those who have done these interviews know that there's questions, right? So I'm going to skip down and I'm going to say, well, so how did your art change from that point? And can you kind of give us that evolution? Like, where did it go from there? Like my artistic journey is real weird. So I love hearing the like journey, like how did it start and where is it at?
Oh, absolutely. So when I was about 26, I'd say, I went with a friend of mine. She called me up and asked me to help her with a show that she was doing. And this was one of those local art festival kind of shows.
Right.
And up to that point, believe it or not, I didn't know that art was something that was for sale. I didn't know that art could be like a career, you know.
Yeah, I relate to that.
It was just something that you see and you admire, and that was the end of that. And so I went to the show and I helped her out and got to walk around and watch all these artists sell work. And this was the first time I was introduced to that type of the business world of art.
Yeah.
And I was very intrigued by it. And that was the moment I'm like, oh my God, I can actually paint and sell my work? I can really do that?
Yeah.
There's people who buy art. And so from that point on, I think, you know, my next step was just to pull my sketch pad and start drawing. And then I bought canvases and paint for the first time, you know, and I started just painting again. And that was the beginning of something nice.
Wow. Right around 26. That's really cool. So up until then, what were you doing? Were you just drawing for fun every so often, or were you active in school in an art club or anything like that? Hey, Jessica.
Nothing of the sort. You know, I got married when I was 18 years old.
Gotcha.
So very shortly after that, at 20, I already had my first daughter.
Gotcha.
And so it was more like a family time. There was no time of creating or, you know, boring. And then just at 26, this is when things started happening. And I was able to go to shows. My daughter was old enough and all of that.
So just that happenstance of somebody asking you to help them with a show, like, changed this, your whole world just went like, what? Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, wow. That was the beginning.
That's an actual.
And I remember on the first show that I did, also at a festival, because that was the one thing that was very familiar to me at that point. I remember being introduced to a person who, since then, up to now, became my art dealer. He, you know, he just walked over and was looking at the art, was very impressed, and was asking me questions and all of that. And, you know, I didn't even know what an art dealer was at that time.
Right.
So we got to know each other. He explained to me that he'd like to sell my work, and it's been a trip ever since.
Wow. Man. Yeah, I have no clue what, I mean, I'm not connected to an art dealer or anything like that. Hey, Cedric, I'm glad he's here. That's cool. Cedric's got some cool work too. I don't know if you've checked any of these folks out, but once we all connect. So guys, the thing too about this is that if I ask Marina a question, you guys feel free to answer that question in the chat too. Like, give your own feedback too, because I love that. I love that we all can interact together too. I've kind of been doing that lately. Is like, if I ask the artist a question, then everybody please feel free to join in, and we can kind of read the posts afterwards. We don't have to read them out loud or anything, but you can kind of read everybody's story, and we'll get to know each other a little bit better. Well, that's super cool. Like, I mean, I kind of had a little bit of the same thing. Like, I was a graphic artist. I went to school at UNT, got my degree in advertising and marketing. You know, thought that everything was going to be digital. My mind was really only digital at the time. I started doing logos and building brands for small businesses. As a matter of fact, I've got 3 logo clients right now that I'm doing. I don't do logos as much, but I literally didn't even think like I did painting a few times in my 20s. I'm 51
Right.
now, so I'm like a super old dude, right? But I did a few paintings, and then I was like, my wife was like, why don't you paint anymore? I've seen your work. And I was like, well, why would I paint? Like, nobody's asking me to paint anything. Like, my concept of art was, if you're not asking me to do art, why would I be doing art? Like, I love it, but I never really, it's funny. Like, as a child, I did it for fun. And then as an adult, I just did it for like, who's asking me to, who wants art? Like, if you want it, I'll do it. If not, I'm just going to, because I was a martial arts instructor. So I was running my karate school, and I was competing, and I was fighting, and I was doing all this stuff. So I was like, I don't know. So like 9, 10 months ago, my world's upside down. Like, I'm all into this now. So that's crazy that that kind of happened like that for you. Like at 26, it just pow. And you're like,
Right.
and then when you discovered that, then people started coming like, okay, now here's an art dealer, and wow, that's crazy. That
You
is
know,
crazy.
it's like that what they say is where you put your attention, that's what you pull in, right?
Oh yeah, what is that like something grows where focus goes, or something like that, like
Something of the sort.
yeah, I forget the quote exactly, but yeah, no, you're right about that. And I've noticed that too, that as I've started focusing more on art, and I think a lot of you guys there, if you guys agree with that, then let us know in the chat box. But if you guys agree that you know, once you started really focusing on art, doors started to open for you. I know with most of the guys here I've interviewed, and I know that they've all kind of said the same thing. I'm going to jump into another question right now. So were there any art influences? Were there any art in? I know you spoke about your mom, right? Like before you really became an artist, your mom was kind of like on board already. Like, wow, she draws straight lines. And yeah, Luce is saying, yeah, that's true. So, are there any? Do you have any art influences now? Are there like people like you really like to follow, or people that, I mean, we all know about Jose Trujillo. I mean, the guy's a beast. I think we all follow him. I'm just a spinoff of. The only reason I do these art interviews is because I like capturing the journey that I'm having, applying his knowledge, right? Because it's really working. I think it works for all of us. But I can't wait to get to what you and I talked about, and I'm getting to that. But what are some influences that you have right now?
Right at the moment, boy, you know, I don't have anyone specific.
Yeah, that's fine.
To answer that question. I think it's kind of hard to get one specific person or a couple of people, since really art is such a broad subject and there's so many great artists.
Agreed.
To me, specifically, is what inspires you for that moment.
Ooh, I love that.
So if I Google through art, right?
Yeah.
And see all kinds of styles, it's what grabs my attention. For a lot of times, I don't even know the name of the artist, but it's the image, it's the art itself, what grabs my attention.
Right.
So I don't have a specific influencer.
So what you're saying is that, and I'm just going to recap it to see if I heard it right. I mean, if you're looking for inspiration and you're just like bobbing through pictures, and is that kind of how you work? Like, okay, I know I want to create today, but I might just want to, I'm just going to look through some ideas, and if something super inspires me, then kaboom, like you're latched on and you're ready to go, right?
Absolutely. What I like to do before I start with art, with painting, is just browse through a lot of images.
Yeah.
A lot of images.
Interesting.
Like for instance, one of the subjects I like to paint is Salvador Dali.
Yeah, I see
and
that.
Frida Kahlo.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to show you a painting that I just did before we started the interview.
Let's do it.
I love those two artists very much. I think they both have a very unique face.
Yes.
So I always love to paint them. And today I was just Googling through their images and kind of couldn't decide what really to do, like which one to go with.
Yeah.
So what I did is I combined both of their faces into one piece.
Really?
Hold on.
Oh, you got to show us. Yeah, you got to show us.
I don't know if you can see it.
Look at that. Oh,
Of course, the
man.
colors don't look anything like the image because the light is hitting it.
I love that. I mean, you and I both know that I've already talked to you about you giving me some lessons on painting people. I'm dead serious because I am not a good people painter. Like, I mean, I barely paint a flower, but it's like that is really super cool. And the thing I like
So,
about your art too, and I've got this gigantic. I'm gonna flip my camera real quick. I've got this gigantic piece of work right here that I just.
oh, that's
I mean,
wonderful.
it's the first. It's just huge, but that's the thing is that your colors are really like so good. I just love that. Now, I want you to talk a little bit, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
so I kind of answered question number 5, which is where do you draw your inspiration, right? And that's just like lots and lots and lots of images. But can you talk to me about, so how often do you actually create? Like, how often are you making art? Like,
Oh, I create daily. It's my day job now. You know, after
wow.
this COVID started, okay, so just to rewind a little bit back, I used to work at a private school as an art teacher for the past
Oh,
10
wow.
years or so. And so naturally after this COVID hit, you know, the first place that was shut down were the schools. So having nothing to do,
Right.
uh, and my first place where I run to regain my, how do you say it, like sanity or
Yep.
feel good again is art. So I started painting, and then you know, just putting them on Instagram to show to people and this and that, and then that's how I found Jose.
Yep.
And after watching him, you know, we've both done it. I sort of got into the whole idea of selling it.
Yep.
So now for the past about 5 months, that's all I've been doing, waking up just like a job, getting into my studio, which is in my own home,
Yeah.
and just creating until up to 5, 6 o'clock, and then closing the shop. So I paint daily, and I paint multiple images each day.
Wow. So that is that all that you're doing now? You're not doing the teaching, right? You're basically painting and then selling. And I want to get to that because that was the big deal for me. Like you really helped me get a mindset around how I need to be thinking. And I've heard some of the same things that Jose says, but when you said it, it was different. Like it resonated with me faster for some reason, which I think is cool, right? Because that's the cool thing about a community, and that's what I love about Jose's community is that, you know, he says a lot of the same things, but sometimes he says them differently on different days. Like he'll say this,
Right.
it's the same message on this day than it was like, hey, Constance. Constance is all the way from the UK. Uh,
Oh,
um,
wow. Hi,
yeah.
Constance.
So I like how that happens, but let's talk about what you were teaching me the other day. So guys, I was talking about okay, I'm on eBay and I was about to give up because I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm selling and I'm still not selling like a beast. I mean, I'm Mr. like 2 paintings every 2 weeks or so. Like I'm not the end all be all, right? And I was pretty excited that I had like 4 or 5 paintings sell like all in like a 2 week period. Like that's more paintings for me because like I said, I'm only 10 months old in this like painting game, right? Like I'm a graphic illustrator, blah, blah, blah. So I was on there happy as a clam about, woohoo, I sold like 5 paintings in 2 weeks, you know, because I'm celebrating the small victories. And Marina comes on and she starts talking about like, yeah, and I'm gonna let you pick it up from here because will you start with telling everybody what you told me about how many paintings you were selling and then kind of just go from there because that blew my mind. Like, go ahead.
Wonderful.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, like I said, after meeting Jose and just kind of listening to what he has been done that was successful for him,
Right.
I started copying what he's doing.
Yeah.
The method of selling. So I started with eBay, and I must say the first couple weeks were very disappointing as nothing was really moving. And then I found out that it's not just what you put on eBay, it's how you pull the traffic to eBay to have people see your work.
Right.
So once I started applying that, then let's just say up to now, in the 5 months that I've been working, 4.5, 5 months that I've been working on my art business, I have sold about 450 paintings.
That's when I lost it. I was just like, what?
Yeah, I actually keep a whole statistic of paintings sold, paintings created, you know, number of sales and the volume. It's literally a business.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know another thing that kind of dropped my jaw. Yeah, look at Constance. She's like, what? We have hope. Yes. Yes, everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I have brought the vision of hope to the best artist interviews on Instagram. That's what I like to call them. That these are the best artist interviews on Instagram. There are no better. And to that, we have brought Marina, who is our vision of hope. 400 paintings. So something else that blew my mind is what you paint on and kind of your marketing strategy. So can you go down kind of those paths too? Because I was floored. Like I'm go ahead, just go ahead. Cause it's just it's good. It really helped me a lot.
Oh, wonderful. At the beginning of this whole business, what I did is I actually used to put my canvas art on eBay and keep the prices very low. And I did sell a couple of those, but then very fast realized that the money that was involved in it wasn't really worth it. So what I did, I changed my strategy. Instead of painting on canvas, I started painting on these large sheets of paper. The one that I just showed you.
Right.
This is a 22 by 28. Just thick board paper. And these cost about 50 cents, and you can get them at the Dollar Tree, I believe.
Yeah.
They're wonderful to paint on. Did you go?
I went to the Dollar Tree right like the day after we had that conversation.
That's awesome. Yeah. By the way, it has two sides. One side is very glossy. Yep. The other side is matte. You got to paint on the matte side. I don't know if you realize that.
No, I haven't actually painted on them yet, but I have the boards.
Ah, excellent.
It's coming.
All right.
Wow.
So from that point on, I just started painting on paper, and the cost went down for the products that I needed to use. The shipping was much lighter and cheaper.
Right.
What I would do is I would just roll them up and put them in these boxes, the tube boxes.
Yeah.
and it would cost me about five something to ship it to pretty much any city around me.
Yeah.
Or state, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I pretty much stuck with that because that's where you make the most money out of.
So I remember you saying though that you were doing the same thing that Jose was doing. You were like putting them on for like $1, right? Like, and then over a period of
Absolutely.
time, can you talk about what you did there?
Yes, I did start putting them at $1. And I did sell a few of them at $1.
Yeah.
This is really just the process that you have to bite into and just go with it.
Yep.
And the reason for that is that when you start selling and your clients get the actual product and they see the quality of the product,
Yeah.
they want to buy more and more and more and more. I have clients who, like single clients who have bought 50 and up paintings.
What?
And they keep coming back over and over again.
50?
And the other good thing is that
That's
once
so
these
cool.
people get to know your artwork and the
Yeah.
quality, and they really love your artwork,
Yeah.
they start coming back. And so what happens is you have multiple clients who are interested in your artwork, and this is where the game begins, when they start to bid each other out. And so, yeah, naturally the price goes up.
Yep.
I mean, at the moment, no, what I did is I started with $1 starting bid, then slowly put it up at $3, then $5, and right now what I do is my starting bid is at $20 for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yeah.
And even now, even the same clients who have bought for $1, they still keep coming back and bidding up to $200-300 a piece. So
Wow.
this is why you need to stay in the game, even though
Yeah.
it hurts you to
Yeah.
let go your artwork at
Yeah.
$10, $15, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end, it will change.
Yeah, because that's where I'm at. Like I put canvas art up, right? Like, I mean, this isn't huge, like a 11 by whatever, right, or a 9 by 12 or something like this. Or I do these 12 by 12s. This is an 8 by 10. So I mean, I may put them on there for like my starting bid is like $10, right? And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing like $10, and then I may do shipping, but in some instances I don't, because I mean I box these. I haven't gotten brave. I haven't gotten brave enough to not put them in a box. Like some people for 8 by 10s, they slide them into those envelopes.
Right.
And I probably should be doing that with smaller work like that. I haven't yet. I still actually put them in a box, which I think eats into my price. So I'm going to be rethinking that kind of stuff, because I'm thinking, you know, I send them U.S. mail, and, you know, they go pretty well there. But, yeah, this really made me rethink like my whole game on this, because I am still putting, you know, all of my stuff. Most of my stuff is canvases. I mean, I do have some thin work that's on like these, you know, these canvas boards.
Canvas board,
So
yeah.
I do have some of those, which I probably should be putting in those envelopes and just wrapping them in bubble wrap, and maybe putting a couple of pieces of cardboard on each side. But I'm so afraid that it's going to bend on the way there that I'm like putting everything in a box.
Oh my.
So I probably need to like talk to you a little bit more about like,
Yeah,
hey Jay,
put a couple boards on the
just
sides
let it
and
go.
slip it in.
Stop being a worry bug and just do the right thing. Because some of my shipping, actually, I do pay. I mean, a lot of it is, I do have a lot on shipping based on that. So let's talk a little bit more, because the biggest thing that you talked about, and you kind of hit on it, and I know we're going there, but you talked about it's about driving the traffic to eBay. So talk to people about what it is that you're doing. I mean, I know what you're doing, but can you talk about that, because that was really a big deal.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the one thing that is really important, oh, this fly. The one thing that is really important is to draw traffic to your eBay store. I mean, eBay has, I believe, about, I don't know, 900,000 art pieces.
Yeah.
And so, oh gosh. And so you get lost in it, basically.
Yeah.
It's just an ocean of artwork,
Yeah.
you know. And so what you need to do is grow your social media. Basically just adding Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever you can have.
Yeah.
And create that, you know, have a large following. And when you have your artwork on eBay and you do sales, eBay allows you to share from eBay to all your social medias.
Yeah.
Which means you get to attach a link to it.
Yeah.
And share on, let's say, on Instagram. And so when someone sees that, all they have to do is just click on the image and be drawn right back to your store.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing. And you got to do this daily. That's the key that I believe has worked for me specifically.
Right.
And I would suggest to everyone who is trying to sell on eBay to just do that. So, grow your social media and get your work on eBay or wherever you are, whatever store you have.
Yeah.
And keep drawing from your social media to your store.
Yeah.
Whether it's eBay, whether it's Yesy, or just any store.
Right. Yeah, and I remember that you were saying that even that this is how much I remembered everything because I really started doing it. I remember that you were saying too, like if you have a single piece, like if you're gonna put it on Twitter, like put that same piece on Twitter like more than one time in a day. Like don't just put. I think that's what you told me was not to just put it on there like once, like we put it on eBay and then it allows the link and then we put it on Twitter and then you just go, well, I'm good. Like literally, I'm not doing that. I'm like doing like
it's a numbers game, Jay.
Yeah,
it's a numbers game.
Right.
You got to do it multiple times on multiple social media in order. I mean, just imagine there's so many people on your following list, right? And they're not all there at the moment when you're sharing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes someone comes into checking their stuff on at night, and so you got to do this on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
And use most of your social media to just keep outflowing, I call it.
Yeah.
Just keep outflowing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you know, and Jose does this, but I think, yeah, over and over again, look at Luz, like she and I are on the same page because, you know, we're both talking about him saying that it's over and over, it's a numbers thing. So that's the thing that I'll be honest with you that I wasn't doing until you and I kind of talked. And the thing is that I've heard him say that before, but the way you said it just made it like it made more sense to me hearing it from you than it did hearing it from him for some reason. And that's why I think it's so good that we bump into each other and that we talk to each other, because as good as that guy is, sometimes I don't get it. And then I'll talk to Constance and then I'm like, that makes total sense. Or I'll talk to Luz and I'm like, I got to do magnets now, which I'm doing now because of her. I do my art on magnet work. And I mean, because of Van, I do this, and because of Jen, I do that. And so that was just so powerful to hear. And that's the thing that, and I'm still not the best at it. I'm going to be super transparent that I did start doing it on Twitter, but I haven't gotten it to the like 3 or 4 times a day thing. I need to get up to that and I need to work it. But it has made a difference in like how people are seeing what I'm doing. And that just was like crazy. So, I mean, just to hear your success story is so inspiring to me. Like to me, like you're one of my mentors now, because I'm like, I got to be like Marina because she is smashing it. And not only that, but you know, you're just so approachable, and we've had good conversations on Instagram before. It's just one of
Right.
those things that, yeah. And Luce is saying thank you to me for bringing artists together. Yeah, right. I mean, that's what this was supposed to be for. Luce was for us to build
Absolutely.
we're building a kind of a. I think of it almost as a Jose Trujillo subculture. Like
Ah,
I don't even take credit for a lot of this. I mean, really, it's just me because I'm a blabbermouth. Like I like to talk to people, which I think is a little different than what some people do. Some people like to just talk about their work, which I think is really cool. But there's so much more. My philosophy is always together, everybody achieves more. So if we come together more often, we will help
absolutely.
each other. I mean, it's just going to naturally and organically happen. And this interview was one of the biggest ones that I thought that you just inspired me so much. And I'm like, I've got to get her to talk to
Oh, thank
people.
you, Jay.
People have, first of all, they have to follow you, right? So let's get into. I've got some time, so we're good. So let's talk about what is the biggest goal that you have for your art? Like if you start thinking about, okay, I'm an artist and I'm doing this, like what is the goal, Marina? Like what are you seeing for your artwork? Are you seeing it always on the same canvas, always in the same way, or what are you seeing?
Oh, no, 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 no. I love to explore. I mean, I
Okay.
have artwork that are done on gigantic canvases. I have from oils to pastels. I explore. That's
Gotcha.
yeah. But what I see as far as with my art happening is, first of all, my number one goal is to earn money from what I love to do best,
Oh man.
earn earn an income, and just play with art. I mean, to me, that's just playing.
Yeah.
And the other goal is to keep people happy. The reason why I use so many colors and happy subject is because I want to give them a piece of happiness. I mean,
Wow.
when they look at the artwork, I want them to feel good.
Yeah.
So having those two in mind, I don't know honestly what to look forward in the future.
Yeah.
Um, but I sort of live in a moment. I just love
Yeah.
creating,
Yeah.
and it would be just nice to make income out of it, a comfortable income
Right.
from doing what I love to do best.
Right. I agree with you.
Whatever happens on that journey, I'm more than welcome to receive it.
Yes.
But my main goal is honestly just to be happy through my artwork and give that happiness to also others.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, and a few folks that I've interviewed that are on here listening to you have said the same thing, that it's like as long as I'm happy doing what I'm doing, then the good stuff kind of finds its way. It's almost like an attract.
Absolutely.
I mean, and I don't know how people feel about this whole law of attraction and stuff like that, but I'm a firm believer that we attract what it is that we're the happiest about. So if we're really happy in that space that we're at, it's like, I just started doing art because my wife said that I painted well. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to paint stuff for fun then. Like nothing. And it's stupid because, like I said, I ran a business for so many years. I ran my martial arts school. Everything was about business, business, business. So as soon as I graduated from college, I opened my own business and ran it for 15 years. So I started thinking everything was about business. Like, why would I do art if it's not business? Like, what in the world?
Mm.
Like, who does art for fun? Like, I would love to do that, but I got so much going on, and it took me all the way to 50.
Hey, it's never too late.
No hair, gray beard, and I'm now like going. I just started painting for fun. Like I literally have, and I've shown this before on Instagram, all these canvases all over the place, and there's a bunch of them, and I've got so much artwork here, and it's just it just started coming out for fun for the first time, and that fun led to this, what we're doing right now. All these beautiful people that know each other now, we talk to each other, we share ideas. I mean, that just came out from just me wanting to have some fun and not just do fun, but my fun is talking to people. Like, that's fun for me. Like, to hear you
Right.
say, oh, I've never done an interview and I'm so excited about it. That makes me happy to know that you get your message out and that people now know more about Marina and about her art and what she thinks and how she can help us and how we can lean on it. Man, that I agree with you. That is huge. That is huge. And I
Right.
think that's kudos to you. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
That's
You know,
phenomenal.
the most important thing is to have fun at what you're doing.
Yeah.
That is number one thing to me. Um, I'm not saying it is all play and no hustle, because
Right.
there is some work that you really have to bend over to really do. And but when you have fun in the process of it,
Yeah.
really just things start happening. I mean, you know, when I first started with selling my artwork at these festivals in the beginning of my
Yeah.
sort of career at 26, the number one thing that I pulled in was the art dealer. Now, that same art dealer had another friend who became also my art dealer. So I had two people selling my artwork.
Wow.
And between the two people, and I'm not talking about the past 4 months that I have been working on, but between those two people, they have sold, I believe, about 600 paintings. And this is just, and by the way, these paintings weren't anything of what I have on eBay. We're talking about 500 and up dollars,
Oh, wow.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So things just happen, basically.
Yeah.
When you keep at it, you put the work into it, and you have fun at it.
Yeah. I'm
I
floored.
don't know if that makes sense. For instance, I had a gallery contact me, and this is a rental gallery. And what they do is they rent out to the movie industry, the commercials and the movies.
Yeah.
And so I had a selection of my artwork basically go out and work for me, because the gallery would pick several paintings, take it to their place, and then start renting them out. So I would get checks just coming in because, you
Oh,
know, my
my
artwork
word.
works for me now. So it's a
Oh,
lot of fun stuff, but you
Marina.
gotta stay in the game, and you gotta create, and you gotta always stay alert, and always look for the new ways and techniques and new games that you can participate in.
Oh, my word.
But there's a lot of alleys, honestly. There's so many ways you can just pull in income from your art. You just have to make sure that you take one, establish it, make it workable, and then move on to the next section and the next and the second. And it adds up. At the end of the month, it all adds up.
Wow. So, all right, I'm coming close to an end here, and I need people to know how to. First of all, we know to find you by your name now, right? Like, you guys should all know that here on Instagram. So if you're on here and you haven't been following Marina, of course, we all are really good about doing that. And usually everybody who comes to this video, we usually end up following each other. So I really don't even announce that, because I mean, that's the first and foremost, the biggest deal is building our community. Because as much as I love Jose, I'm in competition and I need to I'm going to build my own. We're going to build our own little community where we're all just like, hey,
That's right.
kind of the Jose Trujillo sub community, right? So yeah, I'm excited about building my community, and this is something that I wanted to do for artists, is to get a word out. Like, I'm happy to talk about my own work, like you guys know that, but more important than that is, I think when we lift each other up, I seriously think that takes like all of us to another level. Like, we all grow. If I lift Marina up, then we all grow. If I lift Van, or Van lifts me, or Jen lifts Marina, or however it works, that's when art really starts to explode. That's when we really start helping each other. And I think we grow a community that we're trying so hard to create where we feel comfortable. Like it's finding your people, right? Like I feel like I found my people here, which I'm like, oh, when I do these interviews, I'm like, these are my people. Like I don't even have to like.
That's right.
So let's see.
I agree.
Lou says, do you name your paintings, and does this affect the value or buyer's interest in them? Do you give them a title?
I don't. For one thing, I always forget the names, the ones that I do give. So I kind of put that aside.
Yeah.
What I like to do now, I keep the subject open because honestly, everyone sees something else in the painting.
Yeah.
And so I don't title my artwork anymore unless I go to big shows. Like such as the LA Art Show that I went to.
Yeah.
That was the time that I had to put titles because it's more formal and whatnot. But when I do my quick art, so to say, I don't title them at all. If it's a picture of a cow, the title is cow. If it's a picture of a chicken, it's a chicken. Right. I keep it very simple. I don't want to be overthinking and making my brain tired on this all other extra stuff that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, plus people, to your point, people see what they want to see. They may want to name it something completely other than chicken.
Precisely.
Hey, can you show us some work? You got any more work you can show us real quick, and then we'll wrap it up? Because how do we find you on eBay? If we want to buy your work on eBay, what do we look for?
Oh, Jesus.
Is it
I believe my...
Can we find it under your name if we search your name?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I just want to make sure. Yeah, I just want people to know. Check this one. Oh, look at that.
I call this donkey. This is my donkey.
Wow, nice. So and that's
look at that. I actually put them on hangers.
Yeah, I
have a little rug.
Guys, you got to go to her Instagram and see how she hangs it. Like she hangs all of her artwork on these hangers, like all in a row. Like it's literally hung up like that in her studio. It's really cool. Look at that.
That's my German Shepherd, the title, German Shepherd, right here.
Look at that. Explosive colors. Oh my word. So what? So you put that on eBay, you started at like 10, 15 bucks, and then people just go bonkers after that, right?
Well, now I start more or less at $20. I became very comfortable at that price.
20 bucks. Wow, nice. That's right.
20 bucks, and I also charge $20 shipping.
Nice.
I get the occasional question whether or not I combine the shipping, and my answer for the most part is absolutely no.
Yeah.
Because I like to, make some income off the shipping, plus also the painting itself. So yeah, my starting bid is mainly at $20.
Yeah.
And people still come back whether it was $1 before or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you need to do is just create an effect on your buyers, and that's the end of that.
So how long does it typically take you to finish a piece? I mean, like that shepherd, like on average, how quickly are you through that?
The shepherd took me about an hour. The donkey, however, took me, I think, honestly, without exaggerating, 15 minutes.
So, and you're doing acrylic on that paper then, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Acrylic, because it dries faster. Yeah. I love painting in oils, but in order for me to do this type of business where it's quick, paint and sell, it has to be acrylic.
Wow. That is so good. Oh my gosh.
And then here I have one of my larger pieces behind me.
Oh wow!
And this is it's more abstract.
Yeah. Is that a can?
So I do all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
That is so awesome. So Jen is asking, who do you ship with? Does the cost show on the label, your shipping cost?
Yes, it does show on the label, and for the most part, I use the regular post office.
Yep, that's me.
Unless it's a large painting,
Yeah.
and that's when I have to see which one is cheaper. But lately I've sent some large paintings through, what do you call it? Not FedEx, the other one.
UPS.
UPS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's
but
me.
for the most part right now, all I'm doing is using the regular post office. And yes, unfortunately, the cost does show up on
Yeah, on the
the
emails.
labels.
Yeah.
But you know what? Once your public gets your artwork and they see you only paid $5 to ship out, yet you're charging $20, they absolutely don't mind it, because if
I
they're getting
totally
quality
agree.
artwork, if they're
Totally agree
getting
with that.
quality artwork, they know they want to support you, even that few dollars. I had actually
Totally agree with
clients
that.
telling me, why don't you ship them all together so you can save on the shipping? So don't be afraid of that at
Yes,
all.
I'm gonna agree with you, Marina. I usually charge 15 to 18 bucks on my shipping, and some of my shipping's only like $8. And nobody, and I have people who now buy from me, to your point, have bought from me multiple times. And they know for sure that the shipping that I'm charging is not $15, it's $8. But
Right.
nobody says a thing because they also know, and I've talked about it on my channel, I'm buying boxes, I'm packaging it well. I mean, it's going out. Yeah, I agree. Nobody's really balking at that at all.
No. They won't say anything. I mean, and we're talking about literally a couple dollars here and there.
Yeah.
And the
Plus,
fact is that they want you to make the money
yeah,
because
I agree.
they believe in your work, they love your work, they want to support you. Those
Yep.
are the clients that keep coming back to buy, and $5 or $10, it won't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is that especially when you really get known. And this is my advice for everybody who hasn't done it yet, but get on your Instagram and talk to people. Like, this is my personal advice. Get on your Instagram and talk to people. Now, if you just want to start off by not showing your face and being like, hey, this is my newest piece, because when people hear from you, like, I know every time I do an artist interview, I love you guys more than I did before I saw your work, because now we've made this kind of a connection, which is very different than, I mean, this is really good, but when we watch each other and we talk to each other, you got to imagine how much deeper that relationship becomes. So do that with my advice, not anybody else's. Do that with your customer. Talk to them. Don't just throw stuff up on your, to me, this is just me, but I'm not going to just put it on my social media. I'm going to get on there and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So many people will get to know me, and they're either going to love me or hate me. That's the way Jose Trujillo is. Sometimes they like that he drops an F-bomb, and sometimes people are like, I'm never going to listen to the guy again. That's fine, because you really do want to find your audience, like who loves you the most. Hey, I got a minute and 50 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and go. Marina, this has been one of the best interviews. I say that to everybody because every interview is the best interview.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's so unique. Thank you for sharing this with us. Guys, follow Marina. Follow. Let's keep talking to each other. I'm looking for another artist, so maybe reaching out to you soon. If you're on right now and I haven't interviewed you yet, definitely looking for folks. But thank you all for joining. I'll have this on my YouTube channel.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have it on YouTube pretty soon as well, and you can share both of those. So, guys, have a great one. Thanks for joining the best artist interviews on Instagram. All right, you guys, have a good one. Thanks, Marina. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.